Take two. From the Dungeons of Morningstar, I'm Clint.
And I'm Stretch, and this is Prevailing Strange.
So I'm going to start off by saying we're terrible podcast hosts at the best of times, just for the specific reason that we start talking about stuff outside of this.
Yeah.
So it's sort of cutting our conversations, but...
Well, I mean, I think we can still talk out our ass.
I think we can. Well, I can.
Well, you can. I can keep up the slack.
First this week, what do you want to touch on? Where do you want to start?
We'll start with our week in review.
Sounds good.
Episode 5 of Daredevil. Probably
Okay.
kick that off first.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you were a fan, were you?
No.
Which is funny because I was a fan.
I run into this with a lot of shows. The side quests.
Yep.
I don't think this needed to be there.
Right.
For the specific reason, he's going to the bank and he talks to this bank manager who's got the tag on it, says Khan on it, and you've seen the Marvels. Well, if you're a Marvel fan, you've seen the Marvels.
Yep.
So you know he's Kamala Khan's dad.
Miss Marvel.
So the fact that he sits there and starts talking to a stranger about his daughter and answering text messages whilst old mate's trying to say, I need some money to keep my business afloat.
Yeah.
You don't answer text messages in a meeting to start.
No, it was a bit ham-fisted.
And he's like, oh, my daughter Kamala Khan, and we have our own superhero, Ms. Marvel. Oh, you know Ms. Marvel. Come on. You're from New York. He's from New York. He's heard of Kamala. He hasn't heard of Kamala Khan, but he's heard of Ms. Marvel, all right? Because that was all over the news.
We assume, yeah.
Well, she's got her own Funko Pop, so of course she's been on the news.
Yeah, true. But, I mean...
I know he's blind.
Yeah.
But he can still read it with Braille or he can hear about it on the... It was just ham-fisted. It was like, oh, here's some fucking exposition. Let me feed your face with it. It's like it didn't need to. So, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like side quest episodes.
It's funny because I felt like it's been the closest to the original Daredevil series thus far in terms of tone and the way it kind of felt. We didn't have those BB kind of extracts. It's
still taking me out of it. And I've looked closer at those and they are grainier, but it's still taking me out, dude. I don't want to see that shit. No. I don't care.
So, yeah, we had that full episode without one of those, but without fail, we've had 2 in every other episode.
Yes.
So, interesting, this episode was the only episode they did not reshoot, retouch, or do anything with from the first lot of shoots back in 23.
Right.
Where apparently every other episode has been reshot or restructured or reframed.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why it's taken so long to come out.
Well, yeah, I honestly, I just kept headbutting into that. I'm like, with them bank robbers, anyone in particular? Are they, like, we know we've got...
Nobody that I know of, but that doesn't mean they don't tie back to...
Yeah. Well, you know, you got in, like, DC, you've got the suit gang. I was sort of thinking... I'm running into that. They all had their own singular colour.
Yep.
And I'm like, I kept thinking that. I kept waiting for Batman to show up and kick him out the door, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I don't know. I just didn't. That episode, it was my favourite bit was where he smashed old mate's head into the wall.
It was brutal when he broke his leg.
Yeah, and he just puts that fucking balaclava on. He just jumps. Oh yeah.
It was quite ironic that it just happened to be the red balaclava too.
Yeah.
Pretty good. The what they were after, the gem.
Yeah.
Was that just a nod to the Infinity Stone, the Soul Gem? Was that the Soul Gem that's been cut since it was...
Nobody... Well, that's the thing. The Soul Gem is like a little teardrop shape in Vision's head, but...
No. That's the Mind Gem.
The Mind Gem.
The Soul
Gem
one
was at the top.
Is the one that Gamora died for.
Yeah.
The one that Black Widow died for. But it was uncut.
It was
in the back of the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Big, chunky.
It was the biggest one. and it was cut. It was like a rectangle shape when he pulled it out of the candy. It was a rectangle as he held it up.
That's what I mean. This is a cut gem now.
Yeah.
Is it the Infinity Stone that's been
Dunno.
cut? Because it would have been the only one that he would not have been able to return because of the nature in which they were to gain the stone was to give up a life on Vormir, the planet in the middle of the universe.
Yeah, but to get the stone, do you have to give a soul? And to give it back, to place it, do you have to give a soul as well? Because that'd be counterintuitive.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine that.
But why would Cap take them all back? But dude, you've scratched me brain with that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like
I hope it is.
He time traveled back in time to places he didn't have space travel, didn't have access to space travel when he went back.
Dude, you're 100% right. Where did he get the Soul Stone from in time, in Endgame? Where did he get it from?
In Endgame, it was...
Thanos had it at the start.
Yeah. And then it was Black Widow and Hawkeye. And had taken a spaceship from Rocket.
Yeah, to go to Vormir.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Cap couldn't have returned that even if he wanted to.
I don't think so, yeah. So it's been potentially locked away on Earth since 40 whatever when he disappeared, 45.
Do you reckon that's why they shoehorned that episode in there? If they're going to go, here's a Soul Stone and we're going to bring in Ms. Marvel because they haven't mentioned her since.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
It could be a way to contact Foggy, bring Foggy back.
Oh, you fucking evil man.
I'm just spitballing. I really hope they don't bring him back because that would cheapen it.
Well, funny you say that. We're going to talk about something later on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's made me look at episode 5 with fresher eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at the start, but I might have to go rewatch that.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, that's an interesting coloured gem. It's about the right size for it.
It is. But who did they say that they were getting that for?
The boss. They didn't mention anyone. I'm guessing you're meant to assume it's for Fisk.
Yeah.
But nothing was said about who it was for.
Because I think he said a name, like the bloke who got his leg broken, when he handed it off to the lady in the bank. I thought he said, get this to blah, blah, blah. I just can't recall the name. But maybe it is. Maybe. No, it wasn't. No, it's all right. I thought it was the Irish mob fella that we're going to talk about later on, bridged up at Fisky in his office. And we're going to call him Fisky for the rest of the episode.
Fisky boy. Yeah, well, they were all Irish. Were they part of his mob?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Time will tell.
Yes, we're jumping ahead. But it's fun to speculate.
Yeah, definitely. As a standalone episode, I did enjoy it.
Right.
It hasn't, like you said, it didn't really kind of progress the plot anyway.
That's the whole side quest of it all. But I didn't like how they just shoved Kamala Khan in there.
Mm.
And there's more elegant ways of introducing her into this series if you're going to.
Yeah.
They're all in New York.
I did like the punchline, what kind of lawyer are you?
Yeah.
A really good one.
Yeah.
Or was that the Spider-Man quote? And I'm thinking
No.
Yeah.
That was in episode 5.
Yeah. And because he said a very similar line in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. When he catches the brick.
Yeah. Pretty cool little callback there. But episode 5 was pretty self-contained. Episode 6 though,
Dude.
which they released them back to back. That was interesting.
Because they knew episode 5 was going to be shit. But dude, episode 6 brought the fucking pain.
Mm-hmm. We got to see a whole lot more of Muse.
Mm-hmm. I like that his graffiti isn't just red.
Yeah.
I love that he's blending the blood with pigment and colour to make his artwork. I love that he's covering over with epoxy too, so he can't fucking wash it off. his mask, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's very homemade. I love the silver staples.
Yeah.
I love the blood from his eye. Dude, I'm just all there.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Very cool, very edgy type of character.
The first time you see him in his graffiti, the two chicks were, "Hey, you Muse? Can we get a photo?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll give you a photo." And then he released the photo.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see Angela in it again, and wanting to see more of, like you said, she progresses into being the White Tiger.
If she does.
Yeah. It'd be good. Like giving her that backstory and why she wants to be against all this evil shit.
Yeah.
I like it.
I did like that they kind of tied White Tiger to Muse because it wasn't really evident that he was tracking down a serial killer.
Yes. Yes.
And then Angela's come in and kind of said,
he was tracking down all these disappearing people.
Yeah, that was cool. That
Really
motivation for Matt to finally put on the cowl again.
Some of my favourite in this series, anyway, like Born Again, some of my favourite beats are in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Him fighting Muse and seeing how fast and powerful Muse is, Tick, and then seeing how he just lets the devil out and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs after he's beaten the snot out of this bloke.
It did seem like a very cathartic thing for him.
Dude, yeah.
And the way it paralleled
Fisk going back and forth between the two and just seeing him fucking, when he brought the axe in, I'm like, oh, he's going to chop this cunt to pieces. And then he's like, here's your tool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let's go.
Yeah. There seemed to be a very kind of, like I said, cathartic expression through. I kind of interpreted Matt's as a bit of a pain that he was going through. He kind of
really conflicted.
Yeah. Doesn't want to do this. We've seen him praying a fair bit in this one.
Yeah.
But he's doing it because it needs to be done. Yeah, and then you see Fisk on the other hand seem to revel in it. Yeah. He seemed quite pleased at the end of the whole process.
And just it's little touches like to show his power and show that how just much of a badass Wilson Fisk is, how fast he is.
Yeah. So
fast. And then just the way he drags Adam into the cell and just fucking tosses him like that. And it's like, you can still see the power in this man.
He's a strong man.
And then when he's putting on that jacket, the black jacket, and it rips and there's just a white shirt under it, it's like, oh, it's going to come out.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's going to be a progression where, because he looks quite small compared to what he has in past.
Oh, yeah.
Incarnations. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think he's going to progressively grow in size as he kind of takes on that kingpin demeanor of persona. I mean, again.
Well, like even Vanessa says, this jacket doesn't fit you. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Give him his fucking white suit back. Yeah. That fits so well. And I just can't wait the day where he just walks out of the shadows and he's wearing that white suit and just beats the bricks off some prick.
Yeah, I was very happy with that episode and the way all of a sudden, yes, we've got the suit back again. Whether he doesn't don it for another little while or whether that's it, he's dipped his toe in, he's in it for good now.
Well, there's another new suit.
I did see different colours.
Did you see the black one?
Yeah, and
it's got the DD on it.
And a silver one.
Yes, that one.
It'd be interesting to see whether they're nods to his past because it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Since the last series. Whether they're just nods to arcs that he's had in the past because he wasn't standing idly by.
I don't care. Like, I just don't want to go back to the black ninja suit. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that that's where he started and it was very street level and stuff like that. But it's just, I don't connect that with Daredevil. I connect the yellow suit with Daredevil more than I do the ninja suit. And I know, going back with the hand and all that sort of stuff, that's where he initially was taught all of his, martial arts training in that.
Yep.
And Stick teaching him all that his shit. And I know it's sort of like an homage to that, but I just don't. I'd be glad never to see that again. You've got that. If you've got that many suits in the lockup,
he doesn't need the other one. Yeah.
tertiary trackies in the bin, mate.
We did get to see a little bit of the swordsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he showed up again at the fundraiser.
Yeah.
He's a funny character.
Dude, real funny. Even in, I thought he was a villain when I watched Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a villain, mobster sort of thing. In this one, it seems that he is a vigilante. Like he helps people because there's like film clips of him taking out bad guys and shit. But he was didn't take a backward step when he was talking to Fisky.
No, he did not at all. Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens, whether that's it, just that nod towards the Hawkeye series, or whether we'll see something else later.
Well, I've never really read any book with the swordsman in it.
He's a pretty kind of old bygone character now. Like he was bigger back in the 60s and 70s, I think.
Yeah, right.
It's just one of those little nods.
Well, I'd like to see a nod where Fisk maybe pulls his arms off. That'd be cool.
Sword fight with those.
Yeah. Now swing your sword, you pussy. And just rip his arms off.
That was a good sound.
Thanks.
The
Billy Club getting used more. All for it. Just seen in his fight with Muse, where he's like slinging it here and there, and it's like using the grapple function sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you do see Muse's ability to circumnavigate Matt's hearing at the end when he's on the ground, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, it just disappeared. Yeah.
I like that. I don't need to be fed everything straight away. Drip feed me this. Keep Muse around because he is a good villain, dude.
Yeah.
And if you've killed 60 people already, approximately 60 people, you're
60 that they know of. Missing.
Yeah. So you're not slowing down. If this is the long arc and like it's Matt going down the road trying to find potential victims or victims of Muse, and then there's this massive showdown at the end, I'm all for that if that's your season 1 arc.
Yeah.
Because there's still going to be that bigger arc with Fisk.
Mm-hmm. I did read something about John Barenthal returning as well. So,
am I about to make some money?
I am happy that he's coming back.
Oh, as you should be.
Yeah. I spoke out of turn, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The young lady who played Jessica Jones has been very vocal, saying that she would be very excited to get the call up.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Kristen Ritter.
Mm-hmm. So she was like, I'd be very excited if they call me up. I'll jump at the chance to play Jessica Jones again. Thoughts?
I think she was fantastic. I loved Jessica Jones. That series was good, and I liked her as Jessica Jones. I don't think she would have spoiled it to say that she is going to be in it. She might pop up yet.
Yeah. I could have taken Jessica Jones. I really liked Mr. Purple.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great villain for that series, I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daredevil, I hope it keeps going the way it is. I could have given or taken episode 5. Episode 6 pulled me back in. But yeah, I'm really excited for episode 7 next week.
Yeah, 3 more episodes till the end of season 1. So we've got some things happening. At least we didn't have to wait till the end of season 1 to see him in the Daredevil suit like I thought we might.
Yeah, you've been so wrong. Do you really want to watch this guy?
I'm happy to be wrong. I just,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I've been let down before, so I was prepared to be let down.
I've been hurt before. So, yeah, we can talk about Dungeon Crawler, Carl.
Yeah.
We're both being – well, I was a bit hesitant after that first book, so I'm like, oh, fuck. It was weird and confusing. And then I started listening to the second book, and I'm like, okay, all right, let's keep going. Old mate's voice still gets me in the cronk here. But I'm looking forward to where he's going in this whole thing because it's getting more and more exciting as he gets down the levels.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's progressing quite like I expected it would. Very, there's a very linear power grade to these types of books, but it's fun to listen to. Like it's definitely a very sandpit kind of feel for this. Like the authors in these kind of realms, they come up with things that will trip their characters up, but then they just happen to get this prize from a loot box, this power up somehow. That just happens to be the right thing to. It's just this constant thing. But I think that they kind of need to do that because it's released on that royal road to begin with. Yeah. They're releasing like a chapter a week.
Yeah, right.
Or a chapter a fortnight. Right. Yeah. And so that's why it has a very kind of...
episodic.
Well, yeah, not even. It just seems to pick up where the last book left off. Right. There's no time skip or anything like that. It's just bang, straight back into the action. And that's why they're pretty easy to kind of read back to back.
Yeah, and it was like that first book, I think I had a 2-day break and then I jumped straight back into it and I listened to it in 2 days.
Yeah.
The relationship between Donut and Carl continues to charm me.
Yeah.
And, well, he's a manager now, but he was their guide.
Mordecai.
Yeah. Formerly the Rat.
Yeah, he keeps popping up as a different being.
Yeah, every level he changes.
Yeah.
But they had that couple in the first book,
mm-hmm.
the one that their kid died.
Yeah.
She's getting powered up. And the thing when, like here you said, they get loot boxes and that, the thing that I wish it was more RNG,
mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's literally dictated by the directors, producers, and the sponsors of the show.
Yeah.
I wish it was a bit more RNG because, like in the chapter I just read, they held back after that big cataclysm bomb.
Mm-hmm.
They held back a elite loot crate.
Yeah.
And
what was it called?
Celestial.
Mm. Yeah. But then the AI gave them the goods.
Yeah.
Or you're not up to that part yet?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
past that bit.
Sorry, you are.
That's where they got all their
coupons.
The coupons for their space.
Yep. Yeah. I think, we're pretty much up to the same spot.
Yeah.
The AI in it with his obsession with Carl's feet is fucking hilarious.
Just some of the shit he says too is fucking hilarious.
And the voice that he puts on for it.
New achievement!
Yeah, and then when he's talking about his feet, and killing with his feet, he gets creepy, man.
When he stomps on old mate's head, there's a golem whose head he stomps on. And then the next one, new achievement. And he's just sitting there, he starts breathing heavy and shit. And I'm like, you creepy prick.
Sick fuck.
It's just shit you don't get out of reading a book.
Yeah. Yeah, genuine laugh out loud moments.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's why I like it. Yeah.
But it's funny you say the genuine laugh out loud moments, and there are a few in these books.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how going back a few episodes, how we were talking about horror books.
Yeah.
I've never gone in a horror book.
That's right, yeah.
Ever. But there's another book I read called don't read it, listen to Expeditionary Force. There's 16 books in it. Legit, dude. Nearly every chapter there's a laugh out loud moment.
Yeah.
Because, again, an AI is a cheeky asshole and he just rips shreds off humans. It's hilarious.
I do like this book's nod to Dungeons and Dragons and a lot of different creatures and even like Donut's magic missile and a couple of different spells. Yeah.
Clem casting magic missiles everywhere.
That's pretty fun. But I do like this overarching kind of element of him saying, you're not going to break me. He's plotting the downfall of these people that are putting these people in this situation.
Even though no one's ever made it past the 13th level, he's Perth.
Past?
Past, there we go. Like in the history of this game, like thousands of years, no one's ever gone past the 13th level, and he's like, no, that's my single goal, to get past the 13th level and fuck these blokes up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
when I'm listening to it too, because like he's a ex-marine, special blah blah blah. So he's like
Coast Guard, non-marine.
Let's wipe that out. So like he's a Coast Guard guy. So he's fit, he's healthy, he's large. I can only picture Jack Reacher
with no pants on.
Oh no,
Bare
dude!
feet.
A couple of episodes ago in Reacher,
Oh God, here we go.
he was wearing a towel.
Mm.
You could see shaft. It was bulging. And I'm like,
It's a prop.
that's my fucking Batman right there.
So yeah, this week's pop culture news, the stuff that's piqued our interest this week.
Can we leave the big news till the end?
Okay. Yep.
Because I've got some things to say about a certain someone who sent me a certain picture.
All right. There's a new Thunderbolts teaser trailer that's just coming out.
Haven't watched it.
Haven't watched it.
Haven't watched it.
It looks pretty good. It starts off with Louis Dreyfus's CIA director.
Yep.
What's her name again? I've got it written down here because it's Valentina.
Go.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Yep.
Yeah, who is the director of the CIA in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, sir.
So it starts off, she's saying he's stronger than all the Avengers combined.
In reference to Bob Sentry.
Yes.
Let's go.
And he's soon to be known as Earth's mightiest hero.
Ooh, Thor might have something to say about that.
Well, that's a nod to the tagline for Earth's mightiest heroes.
The Avengers. Yeah.
And it's kind of set to these shadowed pictures of the Sentry kind of floating above the city, which we've seen touches of in other ones, but we're seeing more of that. And then you hear Pullman's The Sentry reply, why would a god take orders from anyone at all? Maybe I need to show you what I'm really capable of. And then that's when you see the hand gesture and people...
Dude, if this is what they're showing in the fucking trailer, we all know that Marvel don't show shit that's important.
Yeah.
If this isn't what's not important to the story,
what's going to happen?
What the fuck's going to happen? Because every trailer's been different.
Yeah.
It's giving you a different vibe on what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie I held no hopes for at all. I just thought it'd be another Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was. I didn't like American Agent. I thought he was a piece of shit and his ears looked far too big in that helmet.
Yeah.
I could give or take the new Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was funny in Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
She was refreshing in that. In Black Widow, I just thought she was a sport little brat that should have shut her mouth and stayed out of it. The Red Guardian is hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll watch him in anything, dude.
Mm-hmm.
His Hellboy movie, he was the best part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Bucky Barnes. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Senator Bucky Barnes, but here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they're going to wrap that up in a nice little parcel.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the White Wolf, the bloke who's killed hundreds of people, who's now our congressman.
Well, he did save the universe, or help save it.
Yeah.
With the Avengers, so that might give him a pass.
Maybe.
As you were saying about Elena.
Yep.
Yelena, the Black Widow, the new Black Widow. When she was in Hawkeye, funny.
Yeah.
And then Black Widow. But the thing is, the Black Widow one
was
beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was working for somebody in Hawkeye, wasn't she? I can't remember. It's been a minute since I watched that.
No, she wasn't working for somebody. So she heard that Hawkeye killed her sister.
That's
and
right.
she was going after Hawkeye.
That's right.
And then at the end, she's at her sister's grave and Fontaine come up to her and said, hey, I've got to put a team together.
That's right. Yeah. I think what's going to happen in this, and I've been proven wrong with Daredevil, but I kind of gauged pretty right with Captain America. I'm thinking that the CIA have a super soldier program.
Yeah.
The Sentry is going to be their product of that program. I think what's going to happen is they're going to introduce him. That's what the whole kind of court procedural thing is, them getting the kind of go-ahead to implement him as Earth's new mightiest hero. He's going to be like a CIA's kind of controlled weapon, basically.
Winter Soldier.
Kind of. And that, I think, is what's going to go wrong, is whatever they've got over him to keep him in control is going to send him over the edge and start being all genocidal, fucking just killing people left, right and centre.
Okay. So if they shit the bed with this, with the Sentry, can you remember when they introduced Adam Warlock in...
Yeah.
Right? And then you see him in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yep.
And whenever he opened his mouth, I just wanted to turn the TV off.
Yeah.
Because they made him into an infantile moron.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Warlock, he is the bloke who took out Thanos. Most powerful Avenger that ever lived. At that point in them books. Now, why are they going to give us every couple of years? Are they going to give us a new Earth's Mightiest Hero every time they bring out something just to retcon an ability?
Well, I mean, Adam Warlock is in space. He's not on Earth.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about the Sentry is he's nerfed. He's not like Superman. He is capable of great things like Superman, but...
Well, Marvel's already got her own Superman, haven't they? In
Hyperion.
the Eternals. Yeah, Hyperion.
Well, Hyperion isn't in the Eternals. That's...
played by the Stark guy.
Yeah. I forget what he's... No, he dead. He flew into the sun, remember? At the end.
Did he... Oh.
Yeah.
That's how forgettable that movie is for me.
Fair enough. Hyperion in the comics is up there power level wise, but Sentry is pretty much the strongest being on Earth.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. But he has this issue. He's got agoraphobia. He has this dark side of him. He kind of doesn't want to. He's mind wiped everyone and himself in the past to kind of not be out in the public eye and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because he's so powerful, they just don't want him to be there, always on call to fix all these problems, whatever. So there's a good chance that they're going to have some kind of mental control on him. Whatever it is going to go wrong. I'm thinking the Thunderbolts are going to be like serving. I think they're going to be working off a certain amount of time for
Suicide
the crimes.
Squad.
And they'll just be like a task force that's kind of there to back up the Sentry. Because the Sentry is just going to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
Right.
And they're going to be like...
So you don't think the Sentry is going to be a sort of villain in this?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to go bad.
Right.
But I think
you reckon the Void's going to...
I think it's going to be a mental thing. I think he's going to snap and just go dark and...
Again, so I don't take orders from you.
Yeah, so I think whatever's going to happen, it's going to come to a T. They're going to be out doing some kind of mission. He's going to snap. They're meant to be there as backup, but they're like back against the wall. We're going to do something about this. But we can't do something about this. We just got guns, right, but they're going to fucking pull it off somehow.
Right.
And
speak to his inner humanity.
Maybe. And obviously...
Give him some magic mushrooms and calm down the Void.
Obviously, there's going to be some kind of resolution because, as you mentioned before, he has been cast...
In what?
In Doomsday. Yes. I sat there and watched the feed roll through of the 5 actors that will be present in Doomsday.
I tried to not see this and I wanted to get a raw reaction from you.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
And then a former friend of mine who watches the podcast sent me a picture.
Naughty boy.
So I seen the cast.
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away by the cast.
Oh, yeah.
Got some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they putting Ian McKellen and the other guy, what's his name?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Why are they putting them in this movie?
Well,
they're 80 years old.
I know. It doesn't have to be the final X-Men that are introduced.
No. But what are they going to do? Go visit a fucking nursing home and change out some bedpans for these fuckers or what? Because at the end of the day, man, you could have put McAvoy and Old Mate in it.
I will wait and see what happens.
No.
Well, I think it might be some kind of changing of the guard. They might be using the old X-Men, and we might get McAvoy and Fassbender in the future.
I'm going to smack myself upside the head for that because I am really glad to see James Marsden come back as Cyclops, and I really hope they fucking let him go.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it. He's always been second fiddle and pussy, but he's always been the leader of the fucking X-Men.
Yeah. Give
him some leader shit to do.
Yeah.
Don't just have him as a pining little boy who's crying after Jean Grey all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Omega level superhero. He can dead set wipe out a planet with his fucking beams. Let him run riot.
Mm-hmm.
Give him his blue fucking suit, dude.
Yeah.
We know it works.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in that blue suit.
Hell yeah.
He's earned it, dude.
Yeah.
Let him go. Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, they're our Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah. I was quite happy to see those.
I'm happy.
Names. Yeah.
I want to see him in his yellow chair again, like we did in Doctor Strange.
Yep.
If it's the Illuminati line, and they're just, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other massive stars returning.
Mm-hmm.
Thor's coming back now. This here for Thor, he's got to be the longest and most serving Marvel hero to date. Am I wrong?
MCU?
Yeah.
Yeah, because fucking Hugh Jackman took that, holds that crown.
Yeah. MCU.
MCU, most definitely, yeah. He said he'll play his character till
he dies.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. He is like Hugh Jackman.
Mm.
I hope that there's other actors as Wolverine because I don't ever want Wolverine to keep being in movies.
Yep.
But Hugh Jackman, even though he's 6'6" or 6'3" or whatever he is, I don't give a shit because no one's going to be 5'3" and be. It's basically like a Oompa Loompa running at you with claws. We've seen that in Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's not domineering. He's not,
So I'll just run through a few of the names.
Let's go. You're going to get my live reaction, Jeremy.
Yeah. We've got Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Oh, yeah.
Vanessa Kirby as Susan Storm, Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
Yep.
Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier.
Yep. I'm gonna love seeing them two back together.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Letitia Wright.
Yep.
As Shuri, Black Panther. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man again.
Fuck yes.
I love it. We've got Wyatt Russell as US Agent. Tenoch Namor.
Yep.
I don't know. I can't do that last name.
Huerta.
Sorry. Evan Moss Backrack as the Thing.
Nice.
We have Simu Liu, which is
Shang-Chi,
which would be good to see. I enjoyed Shang-Chi.
Dude, he needs more. He needs another movie.
Yep.
Really does. Him and Awkwafina together were charming as shit.
Yeah.
They need another one.
Florence Poe, is it
Yep.
Poe? Or
Poe,
yeah. Yelena, Black Widow. Kelsey Grammer back as Beast.
Let's go.
Man, when he popped up at the end of the Marvels,
I was
sick.
I cheered.
Yeah.
I cheered.
Yeah. And
he looked so good.
Yeah, he did. It's not very often that I will champion CGI over a practical effect, but I think Marvel's MCU has got it down pat with while some of the Hulks have looked average, you got Green Hulk in Ragnarok.
Epic.
The Red Hulk in Captain America.
Still some of the best CG to date.
The Thing looks sick.
So good.
Yeah, and Hank McCoy as Beast at the end of Marvels looked awesome.
Yeah.
It looked more like Beast than any other Beast we've ever seen.
I agree. I agree with that.
Keen to see that. Lewis Pullman is back as the Sentry, so obviously he survives.
Well, and he's with some of the Thunderbolts as well.
Potentially survives. Who knows? It's the multiverse. They're doing some weird things.
I'm going to come back to the multiverse of it all in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Denny Ramirez is back as the Falcon.
Yep. He was funny as fuck in Captain America.
Yep. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. David Harbour as the Red Guardian again. Winston Duke as M'Baku.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hannah John Carmen as Ghost. Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Dude, again, this.
Hell yeah. I mean,
I'm not even mad.
No.
I love that he lost out because he went for Thor.
Yeah.
And a better Loki again. I couldn't have picked one.
Yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
just nailed it.
Then it went on to because I'm doing these in the order that they read them out.
Sweet.
Then it was Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
He was one of the best characters.
He was. Yeah. He I didn't mind the Nightcrawler in the later movies in the new one, but he was so good.
Rebecca Ramjin as Ramin, as Mystique, which was I was pretty happy to see her come back.
Yeah.
James Marsden as Cyclops. Channing Tatum as Gambit Man.
Yes, dude.
I'm going to be interested to see whether he rocks up and they're just going to have him in the fold as it like in that universe he's always been as part of that fold. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Absolutely.
Then it was Pedro Pascal as Miss Fantastic. And then Robert Downey Jr. walked in at the end.
What do you think this was all? Shh. I don't know what that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
what are you shushing, bro? You've just shown it. Everyone's at home wiping the semen off their chest. Like they already know.
Yeah. I mean, it was all over social media straight away.
That's why I'm not on it.
Yeah.
But then.
But yeah, it's quite the lineup.
I've read that Chris Evans, Steve Rogers is going to make a cameo in Fantastic Four, but Matt Shackman has made it very clear that they are the only heroes on their Earth. So at the end, well, in the trailer of Fantastic Four, you see that ship taking off and blah, 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 and we all see Galactus at the end. You think he's going to inhale that Earth and then they're going to make their escape and then Franklin makes a portal from the womb or something maybe?
Yeah, well, that would be pretty interesting if they'd just come from their world, like from a defeat.
Yeah. Straight
into...
Exactly right, dude. Very Infinity War. They lose.
Yep.
I can't see an issue with them losing in first steps.
No. I think they'll rock a lot of people that don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are going to be like, if that is the case, yeah, that'll rock a few people.
I think so. Starting it off with a loss.
Yeah, because they're apparently in the movie they've been active for a while. Then they're not just it's not an origin story, which is going to be interesting.
Now it's been how long has it been since Black Panther 2?
2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
Now, when we, you can see time jumps and that of a certain duration, they introduced T'Challa, his son, in Black Panther 2. Would you rather see Shuri? Now, she's been Black Panther. It's on the list. They didn't say it. It just says Letitia Wright on the chair.
Yeah.
Now, whether she's going to be our Black Panther in Doomsday.
No, I'm happy to see her as Black Panther again.
You are?
I don't want them to rob her of that just because of the situation, everything's gone down.
Yep.
I think his son's too young. We're not going to have that much of a time skip. But I do look forward to seeing the tension between her and Namor in Doomsday.
Because, and this is the thing too, I think I'll have to rewatch Black Panther 2. I don't know what happens at the end of that. I can't remember. Which is pretty sad because I should fucking remember that.
Yeah, she pretty much kicks his ass and is the bigger person at the end, lets him go.
Right. So you reckon this is where we're going to get the hero turn from Namor and it'll be a bit of a conflict between them two fighting on the same side?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's always been a hero to his people.
Yeah.
Kukul
Khan.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck about the land dwellers.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a worldwide crisis. The whole world's going to be at risk. So he'll be down for the fight. I think Namor, even in the comics, he's always been like a very standoffish in his alliances with other heroes. I don't think anything's going to change there.
Sweet. Now, is Doomsday a book? Is this going to tap into any stories that we know of?
Oh, I think there's so many threads that they could be pulling from, so many different stories. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Now, on this little podcast I used to listen to, and there was, I don't know if anyone's heard of it, it's like Joe Rogan Experience or something. It's a little podcast. I'll give him a shout out, everyone. Tune in to Joe Rogan Experience. If you're not fucking, I don't know. Anyway, he had Robert Downey Jr.
Tony Stark,
yeah. All right. So he had Robert Downey Jr. on there. And he literally said, would you ever come back? And he goes, dude, wouldn't you feel cheated if I came back?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU? And pitch me how you would want him to come back. Okay. Knowing that farewell to Tony Stark doesn't get much better.
Yeah. If he makes us hate him straight off the bat, I'm all down for it.
Let's go.
Yeah. If he's going to be vile, be hateable.
Yep.
Yeah. As long as he...
Complete opposite to Iron Man.
As long as he has no connection to that Iron Man. Like, that Tony Stark, his experiences, that they're all his own, and he kind of had, like when he shows
up and Morgan goes, Daddy, and he goes,
Jesus Christ. No.
But okay, are you excited for the fact that the MCU started with Robert Downey Jr.? It ended, let's face it ended
basically
with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Coming into this new era where we're at a lull with the MCU at the moment because, let's face it, there's been a lot of misses. Mm. Do you think they're clutching at straws, or you reckon this is actually a good thing?
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
Would have you rather had seen a different Doctor Doom? A different actor portraying a Doctor Doom?
I would have been quite happy.
Yeah?
Oh, man, I would have been ecstatic if they kept it under wraps. Could you imagine if they just had some dude in a mask, put a little voice modulation on him or something, bit of metal ring to it to throw everyone off, and to have that reveal would have been momentous.
Yeah. Do you think it could have been done though? Do you legit think that you could keep that much of a thing? Now, I mean, we've seen Marvel and Disney do a lot of whole shit with the volume, that big screen that they film in front of. Mm-hmm. You're saying they just film all of his scenes and then add it post?
Man, I would have been happy for him to pay somebody to be playing Doom and have everybody think it was somebody else. Just voice over him in post and then reveal it right at the
Darth
end,
Vader,
even to the cast. Like, even to the cast when he... Dude.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If they could have done that. Yeah, like you said, Darth Vader it. Like...
Because have you heard the original Darth Vader?
Terrible. Was not imposing.
You're a traitor and a spy. Take her away. He was fucking Canadian. No, he's British, but he sounded like he should have been a talking head.
Yeah.
Funko fucker.
Yeah.
So terrible.
Jarring. Yeah, to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
And just touching on that, as we may as well go into our rant and sundry part right now, where we're just going to talk shit anyway. Have you
Transition. Sorry.
Have you seen the videos of old mate that was playing Chewbacca? Was actually had lines. So when they're talking to him, they're talking to a fellow that's talking, and all the growls and carry on was added in post.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a scene where they're on Hoth and they're working on the Millennium Falcon. Chewie's on top, Han's on the ground, and the behind the scenes of it, of Han yelling and I forget what Matthew, the big tall fellow that played.
Was it Mayhew?
Mayhew.
His last name was Mayhew.
Yeah,
he passed away not long ago.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Yeah. Him just yelling back about the conducer and this thing's fuck, what are you talking about, or whatever. I was like, well, it makes sense that, they have something to bounce off these actors.
Exactly.
And just later on they
chuck in the Chewie.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a joke. I've got a couple of jokes for you.
Mm-hmm.
2 drums and a cymbal fall off a cliff.
Right.
Ba-dum-ts.
I can tell these jokes are going to be more for you than me.
Oh, shit. You want another one?
Give me.
Mate got crushed by a heap of books. He's only got his shelf to blame.
I think the fact that you're cracking
His
yourself
shelf.
up is funnier than the jokes.
Do you want another one?
Oh, yeah, give me.
Why do dogs float?
Why?
Because they're a good boy. Get it?
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, fuck, it's so good.
Moving on from that.
Oh, actually, through the week, I watched Romulus.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I
Dude.
haven't seen it yet.
Dug it.
Yeah.
Last 15 minutes can stay in the fucking cutting room floor as far as I'm concerned. That didn't need to be seen.
Nah. Yeah, it was a fucking weird.
Just stop it. Stop it here.
The worst part is, it was an actual dude in a suit.
I know.
That's his shape, man. Like, what the fuck?
No. Just, no.
Yeah.
Just, no. Cutting room floor exists for a reason. I know, because you cut like 90% of the funny shit I say every week. Funny or offensive, I'll leave it up to you. Just fucking leave that. Didn't need to see that at all.
No. They reckon they're going to make more.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Look, the fact that it was connected but not connected, fine. Give me more of that. Give me more alien stories.
What was the synthetic guy's name?
Denny.
Andy,
Andy. Toy Story, there you go. Andy.
that dude, man, so expressive. Holy shit.
Dude.
And to play like a non-expressive kind of character, just the way his face changed when he flipped.
Exactly right. He was like a kid in the first like half an hour of the movie, and then when he gets to the implant changed around, it was like a completely different actor was cast as that role.
Yeah.
Insanely well done.
Different posture, the way his face just morphed. Even in his eyes, you could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
The one I watched was the director's edition. So they, you got the synthetic who was cut in half, giving you some exposition halfway through. Did you run into issues with the mouth looking a bit two-dimensional? Well, apparently the whole thing looked worse, and they went through and touched it up a bit. But I think the xenomorphs in this were the best I've ever seen. Just the detail in the biomech was incredible.
Yeah, those face huggers were skittling around and...
They were practical effects, dude.
Yeah, they were little fucking remote control cars. Yeah, they were sick.
They were fucking sick.
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed it for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Some of these ones that have come and gone, they're just not memorable at all. I loved the whole slap in the face when she goes, why would you leave them behind? She asks Andy, like, how could you do that? How could you? And he's like, what, leave somebody behind? And then the realization when she's like, I was going to do that to you. It was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I liked that. So on Planet Side, that was all shot in an old quarry.
Nice.
So all practical tent set up and shit.
One of the best shots, I think, for the film was where the Romulus is sort of decaying into the rings of the planet, and it's just, you can see it's big clumps of ice.
Yeah.
And it's just like going through a cheese grater. And it's some of the best visualization I've seen for a space crash. And it's sort of coming down and just getting shredded as it's going down. But then when the other ship's coming over the top, you can see that they're sort of moving at the same speed. Yeah. So it gives a lot of scale and a lot of, like, you can sort of see speed when it's literally a two-dimensional image on a screen.
I'm interested to see what this Alien Earth that's coming out is going to be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's based on Earth, obviously, by the name. I think it's set just after Romulus. No,
because that was after Alien.
It's set before Alien.
Right.
Before Alien.
So before Ripley.
Before they've gone out looking for.
Yeah, right. Because
after Prometheus.
Was Romulus after 2 or was it after 1?
1.
So it was after 1 and then Aliens.
So it kind of covered up the loophole of why when she got off the in Alien, the name of the ship was called, almost had it there. Anyway, when she blew that ship up, I wanted to say Lenovo. But
no, that's the planet.
The loophole of how she was meant to be going back to Earth after blowing up the freighter.
Yep.
And then she randomly gets picked up outside of Earth's kind of jurisdiction.
Yep. No, that's right.
Yeah. By these scrappers, and the time that had changed.
Yep.
So, she had been picked up. She was on Romulus, and it was when it went down that the scrap, that's where they've found they'd been hiding her and the sample xenomorph on this space station for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, so that they've kind of retconned that a little bit.
I like it. See, they did the same thing with Rogue One. Still one of my favourite Star Wars stories of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Holds up. You knew that them Bothans weren't going to get off that planet. Mm-hmm. You knew they were all going to die. But I was fucking invested.
Yeah.
From the opening credits till the closing credits, dude. Yeah. It was a great movie.
Absolutely.
And just filled that hole. Mm-hmm. Filled a hole.
Yeah.
I don't need to have 3 movies of a Senate told.
Mm-hmm.
That little one story was epic.
In my opinion, the best installment in the Star Wars universe, with Andor close behind it.
Yep.
Depending on what this second season does, Andor could overtake that.
Right.
But I still think, Rogue One.
Rogue One was so good.
Yeah.
Even like how they elaborated on the hallway scene with Darth Vader coming through.
Yeah, and
fucking brutal.
Made him actually imposing.
Yeah, a badass.
Yeah.
Instead of just walking in after the stormtroopers have missed every fucking shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was. They're going the right way about the Alien franchise. Like they're filming Badlands at the moment, which is the sequel to Prey.
Mm-hmm.
Prey, I thought was tits.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. I don't know why I haven't watched it. But
it is absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The story's amazing. The actors are amazing. And when you see the Predator,
because he's a more primal Predator.
He's very primal, dude. Like he's wearing a bone mask, and he's all of his technology is very primitive.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the evolution of it. So to see him come up against the xenomorph would have just wiped the fucking floor with him.
Yeah.
Because he's not that imposing. He's not that powerful. He's not that fast. He doesn't have all the tech. But you show me that evolution of the Predators and then have them go back to the homeworld where they're fighting fucking the xenomorphs. Dude, yeah. Retcon, reboot, do this shit. I'm all for it. But just don't, because the originals are always going to be there for us. They're not going anywhere.
That's right. It's funny, as big a fan as I am of the Alien series, I've never really been a massive Predator fan, where a lot of people take them.
I was the other way.
Yeah, right.
I was the other way. So I was a massive Predator fan. And it wasn't until... Because at the end of Predator 2, Danny Glover's on a Predator ship. And there's a xenomorph's head.
Yep, the skull.
And you're like, fuck's that? And then I watched Alien after that. So Predator led me into Alien. And then when they started doing like fucking AVP and shit, I'm like, oh, yes. And then I watched it, I'm like, fuck, no.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. But Predators, the one with...
Adrian Brody?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that
I enjoyed it. I liked the fact that it explained what a predator was.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, you didn't understand what they were. They were just killing machines. But no, they're a race who they've got tradition.
Yep. They're
very Native American and that sort of thing. Like you go out into the wilderness, you earn your stripes, you go hunting, you learn to be a man. Come back, tell us what you've learned.
Yep.
I liked it. So to see that more with Prey and Badlands and that, yeah. There's infinite stories you can tell with that sort of storyline.
Yeah. That's one thing I've always kind of wanted to delve into is the comics and the backstory and the lore of all that. Just never got the time to do it yet. Yeah,
well, no, I don't think I've ever read a Predator or an Alien comic.
They reckon it's pretty rich, the lore for I want to say Yutani, but that's the name. Alien. What was the name of the race? The Predator race. Utai. I don't know.
Urukai is fuck. How do I know that?
And it's an Urukai.
Urukai. Why do I know that?
That's Golem. You're trying to emulate Golem
there. Malprecious. But anyway, what's the hobbitses?
Yeah. I think on that note, we might end it here.
Sounds good, boss.
Yep. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you next time.
Comment down below, ask questions, tell us your opinions, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right, have a laugh. Love, peace, chick grease.